Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new, my name is Michelle, and in today's video, I am working in the kitchen, preparing snacks and other things for my family for the days and weeks ahead. The first clip you saw was some apple butter that I have going. I actually ended up getting up really early on this day to get that started because it has to cook for 12 hours total. So I am working on, I want to say, 4 different recipes in today's video. And they are none of them are original to me. They have either been Googled or I saw another creator make them. So I will be sure to link the recipes and their original creators below in the description if you're interested. So the second recipe I'm working on is some pumpkin granola, kind of to replace just like store-bought granola or cereal, so you can eat it in yogurt or just with milk like you would cereal. And it's really delicious and it smells so good, and I'll be sure, like I said, to have all of that linked below. So today's video might be a little bit chattier than other videos that I've done, and I'll try not to talk your ear off the entire time. But if you have been around a while, you probably have noticed I haven't posted a video in some months, not since the summer. And that was kind of unintentional, but I've been doing, I would say, a lot of like soul searching on what I want this channel to be and the direction that I want to take it in the future. I think I've just become so overwhelmed and mentally weary with today's like hustle culture and trying to just make our homes look like magazine covers. And that's not really what I want to share. That's not the kind of creator that I want to be. I live in just like a middle class home, and there for a while when I was making videos, it just felt like I was always 1 or 2 steps behind everybody else, and I didn't like the feeling of competing with other people, and I just didn't want to be that anymore. I didn't want to spend my time and my mental capacity on just like comparing myself to all of these other creators who have all the nicest stuff and the biggest homes. That's just not what I want. And I think it's really just time that we start accepting or normalizing, like, not everything is going to be aesthetic. These big houses with everything perfectly organized and put together and, perfectly styled. That's just not normal. It's not feasible for most people. And so that's just kind of not the direction I want to go anymore. And so that's kind of why I've been MIA on this channel, because I've just really been thinking a lot about it, and I really enjoy creating videos. Like, it's just one of those things that it's cathartic to me, and it's fun, and I just really enjoy it. It's kind of a creative outlet for me. So, my content will be similar still, but it will change some. So I just wanted to let you guys know kind of where I was with all of that and why I haven't been posting. But I appreciate you being here all the same. So moving on, while the granola bakes in the oven, I'm putting together some homemade ranch dressing, which is so simple and so delicious. If you've never had homemade ranch dressing, You'll never go back to store-bought once you make your own, because it's so easy, and you probably already have most, if not all, of the ingredients that you need in your kitchen. And like I said, it'll all be linked in the description box below. But we've got some veggies in the fridge that probably won't be used for anything, like any specific recipes. So I'm putting some of this together so we can dip those veggies in our ranch, or if we decide to have salads later on, we'll have some ranch on hand. I don't know if this is completely necessary, but about halfway through cooking the granola, I pulled it out and broke it up with a spatula. And I think this really helped. Like if you like clumps in your granola, like the really tasty clumps of granola, this probably is a good idea to do, because it kind of breaks it up into clumps. And then it also, I feel like, probably cooks it a little bit more evenly. So I decided to pull it out and break it up a little bit and stick it back in the oven. Next up on my list is homemade crackers. And I've seen a few people make this. I'll link the actual recipe that I used below. Most of the people that I've seen use this use sourdough, which I don't have any sourdough starter. But if you do, that's probably a better option. These actually did turn out pretty well. I wasn't sure, like, once I pulled them out of the oven, I was like, I don't know, because they seemed to cook really unevenly. And I think that just had to do with how I spread the dough out onto the baking sheet. If you can spread it more evenly, it will obviously cook more evenly, but the edges got very, very done, while the middle seemed, I was not sure if the middle of it even cooked all the way through. But once I got it off of the sheet and it cooled, they were perfectly crunchy. But they were pretty good. They were actually a hit in my house. Everybody said they were really good and they want me to make more. So I will consider that a win, because this is the first time that I've tried homemade crackers. And like I said, my family approved. So I think that's a good sign. So more of the type of content that I would like to share with you guys in the future is basically the type of content that you'll see in this video. So more healthy from scratch meals and snacks for my family. I personally feel like there's been a bit of a surge in people wanting to do more on their own, as opposed to like going out to eat or buying a bunch of store-bought processed foods, which, like I said, we live in a neighborhood, we have an HOA, so we don't have property, we don't have a garden, we don't have animals that we can sustain ourselves off of. So clearly we're still going to be going to the grocery store and buying all the things that we need. But I feel like if you can buy more whole ingredients and put them together to make healthy meals, then everybody in my family will be much healthier. And I feel like a lot of creators that share similar content to the type of content that I want to start sharing with you have been doing this for quite a while. They have gardens, they've been canning their own food. This is where I'm getting a lot of my recipes from, is creators like that. So I kind of just want to share with you my successes and failures in moving toward that kind of lifestyle. And it's not going to be perfect. In fact, there will be probably plenty of fails for you to share with me. But that's just kind of where my heart is right now. And I wanted to share that with you. And I hope that you'll stick around for that, because I'm really looking forward to learning a lot of new things. Like I've said before, I really want to get into canning, which that is a whole new process for me. So eventually I would like to share that in a video with you. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, so this is my little label maker. It is so simple to use, and I'll have it linked below. It's very inexpensive, but I just love the simple look of it, and it's so easy to change labels on, like your cans or whatever kind of containers you have for all of your food. So halfway through baking these crackers, and I used a little bit of the dough I had left, but it was just so little of it that it just cracked, and I ended up just trashing that whole second pan. But anyways, halfway through, you want to score your crackers into, obviously cracker shapes. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to stick it back in the oven to cook the rest of the way. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, you see how kind of the outside edges are pretty brown, and then the middle was still like not brown. And like I said, I wasn't sure if it even had cooked through all the way, but it did. So the outside edges, those didn't quite get eaten as much. So that is gonna have to be something that I sort of play around with to see if I can get it right. But like I said, they tasted really, really good. So I will definitely be making some more of those crackers. So now we're just gonna clean up a little bit. I am not the cleanest cook, so there's a lot of like cleaning up in between making different dishes. So that's what I'm doing here. I think I'm pretty much done with the oven/stove, so just cleaning it up. So now the apple butter has been cooking for 10 hours at this point. So now it's time to, and this would be a lot simpler if I had an immersion blender, but I don't. So I just am using my regular old blender and working in batches. After all of the blending is done, this will actually have to cook for another 2 hours. And you'll see, like, after 2 hours, the color is much darker and richer. So I will show you kind of how it looks now that everything's blended after just the 10 hours of cooking. And then you'll see 2 hours from now how it looks at the end. And this apple butter, I will tell you, was so good. My whole house smelled amazing, like the entire day. It was like having a candle lit all day long because it smelled so good. So as you can see, the color difference after 2 hours longer in the slow cooker. So I'm just gonna stick all of this into 2 jars. So I ended up putting one in the fridge and then freezing the second one. So that way it didn't go bad, because I know there's no way we're gonna use all of this apple butter up at once. So this was really good. I made biscuits the next day and it was really good on homemade biscuits. And I also have made some bread and it was really good on some toasted bread. So apple butter is just, it's tasty and it's so easy to make on your own. These are actually apples that I got at a local farm up in my hometown in Ohio. So that's what I would suggest, is finding a local place to get your apples as opposed to the grocery store. But either way is fine. That's just kind of my suggestion. Now it's time for just the kind of final cleaning of my house. I ended up making chili for dinner, which I did not show on here because I knew this video was already going to be long enough. So the chili will have to wait for another video, but I will again leave the original creator of the recipe that I made. This was a different recipe than I normally make for chili. The one I make, I've been making for years, but we were kind of just like, you know, we kind of want something different. It's the one I typically make is very simple. This was a little bit more involved, but it was really good. So like I said, that recipe will be linked with the original creator of the recipe. And so if you're interested in a new chili recipe, that's a good one to try. But like I said, anyways, this is kind of the final cleanup. So we're going to do all of the dishes, get that taken care of. We're going to wipe down the countertops, and then we're going to call it a night because it's been a long day in the kitchen. I don't think I've shared this with you yet before, but this cleaner that I'm using, I've been using it for quite a while, probably a few months at this point, but it's homemade. It's a homemade all-purpose cleaner, and it works so well to both disinfect and then just get like everything clean and shiny. And it is half 91% rubbing alcohol, half water, and then a couple of drops of Dawn dish soap. And I actually got this recipe from another creator on YouTube called Midwest Magic Cleaning. And if you are interested in like the big hoarding cleans, that is a great channel to follow. He is so funny, and it's straight to the point, and the befores and afters are just like insane. But anyway, so I got that from him and it works really well and it's so easy to make. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys really quick. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I appreciate you being here and sticking with me. I hope you'll continue to stick with me throughout this kind of evolution of my channel. I'm really looking forward to sharing more things like that with you. And I'm just glad you're here. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.